Okay, this footage is of Jazmine executing a double arm B-skip exercise, and this is our first time doing it this year. This season our goal is to go ahead and help her to continue to develop her double arm technique. She's strong and she understands the timing of it, so she's got a pretty good idea of how it's executed, and most girls can't do this, so that's really a good thing. So what we're looking at here is to be sure that we swing the arms back from the shoulders. We're going to make ourselves into a T position. So basically you have here and then there, that's where the arm should be. So we're going to form the T, and then what we want to do is we want to push the chest through the door. So imagine that there's a door here. Here's there, and there, and there, and we're trying to push our chests again through that door. Right? So we want to push the chest through the door, load the arms behind the body, and then stroke the arms low, leading with the thumbs, and she did a pretty good job here. The one thing we want to improve upon, and we spoke about this, is to be sure that she blocks the arms at the armpits, and perhaps maybe keep the arms just a little straighter. I favor having them straighter because it gives you just a bit more power. There's nothing wrong with having the elbows bent, and some athletes prefer to do that, but right now let's just go a little straighter. Then if we wish to modify it later by bending the elbows a bit, then we can do that. She does a pretty good job here. If you notice that on her right hand, though, the palm is down a little bit, so we got to be sure that we're leading with the thumbs as we go up and not leading with the knuckles. So from here, again, we push ourselves through the door, and as we do that, we move up, knee drives up to about 90-degree position, and then as we move up, this is the only time that we will coach to bring the foot ahead of the knee when doing this exercise. So because we do want to bring the foot ahead to put it in a position to be able to engage the ground with the leg relatively straight. So as you can see here, from a flat foot position, she drives in, and then the other arm, the other leg swings through into a jumping position. And we will have a leg split because it is a jump. Again, the hands are just a little high above the shoulders, so I'd like the hands again to block at the shoulders with the thumbs up and the palms to the inside. She does a pretty good job here, though, nonetheless. I mean, it's, especially for it being the first time of the season to do it. One other thing that I would like her to also work on is try her best to keep the chest as high as possible. You'll see just a little bit of a dip to the front. That's not uncommon, actually. Athletes will tend to want to dip the chest forward as they load. That's okay, but just keep in mind we want to try to keep the chest as erect as possible. There will be some forward dip, but as long as we try to keep it erect, we'll be in good shape. The foot's dorsiflex, which is what we want. As you can see here, the leg that's going to engage the ground should be the foot should be dorsiflex for the leg that's engaging the ground. We want that because that'll help cock that leg and cock that ankle, so by the time she hits the ground, the leg, we have basically functional stiffness. Swing the other leg through, and the ankle and heel recovery be relatively low because it's a jumping exercise as opposed to a sprinting exercise. Extend up, driving into the ground completely. The body should be completely straight, which is what you see here. The knee is driven up past 90 degrees. At this point, you'll see if you look at her here, she's probably about 98 degrees or so. So that's pretty good. So the only thing that I would like to see her do is really be sure that we engage from the high position. She tends to let the foot drop before she engages forward with an active foot movement. So we want the foot ahead, and then once the foot goes ahead, it puts it in position to now swing back. So we swing the foot ahead. So now when we get ready to engage the leg down to the ground, the whole leg drives down like so. Into the ground, drives up. Arms come back to load, well behind the body, drives in, engages, and up. She started to actually extend out a bit too much on this exercise. I'd like her to try to keep it relatively short and high because we're just beginning, but nonetheless, it's a good exercise, and I'm real pleased with it. So we're just going to build on that. There were a couple other repetitions that we did that were not quite as good, but we're not going to dwell on that. Let's just look at the positive and work on building from there.